Greetings, I am Liz.
And I am Scandal.
And
let's play a game together. Alright.
Alright, so we are still in this premium scene as far as we can tell, and we are still dealing with a extremely socially obligated and somewhat awkward protag, and let's see what happens. Because, you know, if you think about the boy, he's important.
Right? Before I can finish my words, he leans forward and shuts me up. I mean, kisses me on the lips.
Honestly, that is that old trope. Classic movie trope, yes.
Stop talking. What you really want is for me to kiss you. So I'm just going to kiss you. What women want is to be invaded upon, don't you know? Indiana Jones had it right. You just smooch the girl, even if she was yelling and screaming and throwing things at you, as long as you kiss her and you persist.
Until she goes quiet. I mean, that's sort of like a lot of older, classic romance, like the golden age of Hollywood kind of stuff. Yeah. This, you know, you have the whole sort of resistant bride that if you kiss her long enough and hard enough, then, you know...
You will convince her.
Then basically. She will be into it, yes.
Or she will admit, basically.
Or she will at least stop talking and stop bothering you.
Right? The softness of his lips takes me by surprise.
Because I didn't expect lips to be soft.
Nope, lips are always hard and nasty, and I don't know. He's just playing with my feelings by kissing me.
Sounds about right.
I mean, yes, and sometimes we're going,
I've been an asshole to you that's invaded every boundary you have. Yeah, then going, and now romance. That is playing with your fucking feelings.
Of course, yeah, he's playing with your feelings. I take control, and kiss him back, even more forcefully.
You're gonna shut me up? I will shove you into the ground!
That is also, like, extreme copism.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of dark thing about, I guess, my life is I have done this behavior before. Basically going, I have no other choice, I don't know what else to do, I'm afraid of basically consequences, and so I did what I thought my partner at the time wanted me to do, and it landed me in a really shitty situation. But yeah, so...
I was gonna say, I have had this experience too where if you feel like you are not allowed to leave a situation, sometimes you will try and take control of the situation. Yeah. And it actually makes me think of Game of Thrones in reference to the whole Khal Drogo and Daenerys arc, where one of the big things that was talked about in the fandom, and also that is canon, is that she was told she had to take control of the sex situation for it to not be bad.
Yep.
And the thing was, so she was told, this sex is going to happen, it will and it has to, but the way for you to make it enjoyable is to take control.
Right.
And so a lot of times when you are maybe not all the time, but a lot of times when you're subject to something, when you're stuck somewhere you don't want to be,
right,
you try and make it as good as you can, even if it's waiting in a line and trying not to be bored.
Right. I mean, that is the thing. Kiss it back more forcefully. He hugs me even tighter.
So I hug him tighter still. Oh.
I feel vulnerable as I begin to lose control because I cannot literally get away, and I realize just how much I'm like stuck in his arms, and whatever I'm trying to do is not what I'm doing. His tongue touches mine and the kiss becomes more serious in an instant. He doesn't even care about people passing by looking at us.
My private spot with people tourists.
Right, I'm like, no one will know. Excuse me. Him has a photographer that follows him to this particular private area. Right. Regularly comes here. Look at me, take my pictures. This is me modeling my family's clothing. I look marvelous.
Also, he kisses her. She kisses back, forcefully, enthusiastic, takes control of the kiss. But she doesn't increase the kiss.
Right.
Like, she doesn't escalate it. And then he does, tongue, I'll step it up.
Right.
And now she cares. He doesn't care.
But
I do.
I push him lightly. With my arms sort of pinned to me, I'm trying to...
Okay, now that I have basically more social context, so this isn't something just between you and I, it's now something public, I now have permission to disengage.
I have hated that particular behavior sometimes, where there is this thing of going, what I'm doing is showing you off. Going, look at us, people.
Look what I get to do with this person.
That you can't do that, but, like, it creeps me out how much it's used to manipulate people, going, like, see, I own you, and I can show you off.
I feel like it works best when both people are involved. I want to be shown off, you're going to show me off.
Right.
As opposed to, I'm going to show everyone else what I can get away with you. That's the one that I've been subject to before, where I had a boyfriend that would, like, really hadn't touched me much at all at one point.
Right.
And then we got into a space where he was basically feeling competitive with another person in this case, a man, and he just started like touching me and groping me in ways he'd never had before, right in public. And I was like, whoa, holy fuck.
And you're like, excuse?
And it was really, he wasn't even looking at me. He was really looking at this other dude. It was like, whoa.
I will also say, at least for me, I know sometimes where you have couples who are like, I like it when people watch, but I'm also like, now you're getting into what I would consider more like kink or fetish territory, because you're getting off on basically other people watching your relationship, and again, that's not okay. That's
people participating or not.
Yes, I push him lightly. He smiles arrogantly as he touches a finger to his lips.
You're a great kisser,
I would say, in order to make you feel better.
I'll tell you, it's really good.
Really, really good. My cheeks get rosy. I really don't know how to respond.
Well, part of me expects.
The sky is dark.
I was going to say
terrifying.
Clouds came in, like, amazingly. Maybe he's more water element. Who knows?
He could be.
I was going to say, but also, like, okay.
What is he, a mer person or something like that?
So, you've got this experience of him going, you know, her being like, people are looking, I'm going to push you back. And now I expect to see pictures of me kissing you all over the internet.
Right? Suddenly, the sky becomes dark, and a peal of thunder makes me jump.
Let's get in the car.
We'll keep making out there.
Oh, whatever. I will take you home.
Like I promised. See, aren't I a good boy?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
See, I follow through on all of my promises.
At home, I find Mark sitting by himself on the front porch.
He waited to see if you were okay.
Oh my god, he's like, I'm trying to make sure if you're okay or not. Like, that's sort of terrifying.
If you were gone for like a massively unreasonable amount of time, he probably would have like called you or something like that, but he's actually just making sure you're okay, and he's there to support you at the end. This would be my guess.
Right? I'm like, what a friend. Also, damn, what a shitty situation.
What a rough situation. And honestly, we had a really excellent comment recently by Jack Benishi about how we a lot of times when we pick a character mood, we lean in really hard. And Byrne's story has not only been dark by basically modality of the game, but also by method of us really leaning into the fact that she's submissive.
Right.
And that she is, you know, abused and a pushover, and that she can't or won't, is emotionally unable to fight back.
Right.
Even if she would be otherwise physically able. And one of the things that I noticed about the game where I'd like to sort of respond to that is that it seems like a lot of times, even when we try to do that, it wraps us around to the more submissive option.
Right.
So it's sort of like the game continues to enforce that you actually don't have any freedom.
Right.
And the only options you're able to take and can take are the ones where you aren't assertive.
I was also going to mention this, even in reference to other games, I've seen it as well. Well, sometimes you'll pick basically what I would interpret as a more aggressive option, or more direct, or more assertive, or whatever it might be, right? Just, you'll pick an option, and it will, like, that will be the option, but then your character goes back to being what they wrote.
Yeah.
And so there's a weird level of what I would call dissonance, of like your choices sort of matter, but they kind of really don't.
But the text in between doesn't string them together if you choose the assertive option.
Right. And in some of like, so I have some examples like basically from some of the Arcana stuff that we played where sometimes you would pick an option and it felt like kind of the character would go on for a while and then it would kind of drop into what they were going for. I don't know how to describe it because we haven't played both sides of multiple routes, but there was a thing sometimes where I was like, oh, the tone has changed, you know, and then it would seem like it shifted back into the normal plot. Well, and then only at the end, because now we learned that there are two endings, now you know that your choices have weight, but the rest of the story still is like, I still have a tone that I'm expecting.
Anyway, so I was going to say, sometimes I get uncomfortable with leaning into a character, and I know that people can change. People can definitely have events in their lives and spaces where they experience growth and change in one direction or another, and then they start behaving differently and making different choices.
Right.
Usually those come with some sort of an event. Now, Byrne has had a lot of changes at once, and we only knew her right as those changes started happening, so it's hard to tell like who she was before that and then how she would change now, especially since there's very few positive changes to offset the negative changes.
Right.
Positive change being I made the first male friend of my life, as far as we can tell.
Right.
And then other changes just being everybody's now working their way into my life.
There's also the fun thing, too, that I will reiterate, is negative character development is not bad character development. It's just negative.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
At home, I find Mark sitting by himself on the front porch. He doesn't look happy to see me with Alex. Alex hugs me as he says goodbye.
Huh. I'll see you soon, okay?
We literally didn't have a single conversation on the way back. It was just dead silence all over again.
Yep. I contemplated exactly what happened there.
Right. Oh, right. He leaves without saying a word to Mark.
Huh. Why are you with him?
Why not?
Why?
Why not? I needed to talk to Alex about the photos that he posted. Like, I'm being reasonable. I am.
This is the way to address the problem. If you're not just going to hope it disappears on its own, this is actually the more assertive option.
Yeah, I can do it. And he's my friend. He has to be. I guess also the other thing is too, sometimes, so, like, also with Draken and Sheep, I totally feel you. I think one of the only reasons also that I'm able to rationalize or comprehend this story is by leaning into basically the abuse narrative, is into the manipulation, because in this story, this doesn't really work for me.
Like, a lot of it doesn't seem to make sense between unless this character really does, like, deeply enjoy what is, like, mistreatment by men, and doesn't understand that she enjoys it, so they display on screen, I am having a hurty, sad, emotional experience, and they don't explain very well. That's what gets me going and makes me like guys a lot and makes me happy.
Right, which is one of the things that we've mentioned before, like, where we were reading through a bunch of the reviews, and they just hated this main character. Like, a bunch of people were just super pissed about this character.
And I feel like, yeah, basically she is largely, if you don't read her as this sort of, basically overwhelmed, harried, sort of, basically ill-equipped person to deal with the situation,
right,
then she doesn't make sense other than I am confused and deeply naive, but also a little bit like vain, wishy-washy, shallow, and also just a little bit inconstant, poorly written.
Yeah. And
anyway,
I guess I would, I mean, I don't
and
mind.
And there could be other ways to read it,
yeah,
but that's all I can come up with, because there is that level of, I hate this, and what? We're friends.
Right?
And it feels like self-denial so often.
Yeah. And he's my friend.
A friend doesn't make you suffer.
Mood. And again, this is where,
that should not be an intrinsic part of the friendship.
Right, which is also, though, again, where I'm like, I feel like this game is, like, kind of trying to be its own weird, subversive romance story of going, like, actually, these people are all kind of terrible. And I'm trying, like, I, as the writer, might be actually trying to point out, going,
so
like,
make a point,
it doesn't matter if they do some nice things for you, or if your main character is vapid, or might, basically go with the flow. You still have some characters who are sitting here going, like, what the hell? Yep. Hey, I'm your friend, I care about you, are you alright?
Yeah, right now Mark is basically the voice of reason, if you will.
Right?
He's a bad guy. He's just toying with you.
He's the bad
Alright, so we know who the bad guy is now. Now you can assign your theme songs.
Woohoo! He's not. He really cares about me. He just doesn't know how... God! He just doesn't know how to express it. I have heard this stupid fucking thing from so many people. Like, when I knew a lot of people who were in basically cis relationships.
When I am most familiar with that line, it was when I was, like, from being like an adolescent to a late teen with my mom's friends. Because she was in basically Al-Anon, which is a support group that's from the same basically organization.
Alcoholics Anonymous, right?
So that's AA.
Oh, that's AA.
So the same organization that does AA does a support group for the partners, spouses, the people who do overuse or who are abusive because of alcohol.
Right.
That's your Al-Anon.
Right.
So your Al-Anon is all the relationships connected to your alcoholic.
Right.
And there were all these various, wives and women and girlfriends that she, met, because you meet the people that are in the same circumstances as you.
Right.
That would just be like, that my mom would be like, you're not okay. Whether it was some form of physical abuse or a lot of emotional abuse or neglect or a combination thereof.
Right.
They would be like, no, he really cares. It's just that he doesn't know how to show it. So he's controlling money because he wants to make sure we have enough. So he's controlling my time and where I can go because he wants to make sure I'm safe. Like, that was the statement over and over of going, he really cares, but he doesn't know how to show it. And the thing is one needs to learn how to show it.
Right.
Period. And before people are seriously making each other suffer.
Right?
Like, that is a mature, adult, appropriate thing to do, of going, wow, you do not know how to show affection, you hurt me. And them going, but I'm just trying to show affection. And going, okay, we need to do something different to show it then.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Wow.
So I'm frustrated that they use that line, but again, it sort of leans into the narrative we've been after.
Right?
Or what we've been sort of perceiving consistently.
Right.
I don't like seeing you with him, Bern.
Or it's been the way that we've been basically rationalizing the story, because I don't know how else the hell to take
it.
Right.
Please, stay away from him, okay?
Well, I don't like it when you tell me who I should be friends with. You, a geek, of all people.
Yeah,
really?
My racism will begin to show.
Hi.
No, that's not what I meant.
Look, Mark, Okay? Look, I'm tired. I'm not in the mood right now. I don't want to hear... Again, I'm like... The character's like, no, I had a good time. No, I will be friends with who I want to. And then going, no, I'm tired. I'm annoyed. I've reached the end of my line. I'm like, this character seems like they're just...
Also,
much.
So sometimes the way people use friends is very different than when I use friends. If she says we're friends now, it could literally mean we made peace. The problem's been solved.
Right.
And so the thing is he's like, I don't want you hanging around him anymore. It's the sort of thing of her going, I wasn't even thinking about that, but now you're telling me what to do too. But when she says, we're friends now, it can literally mean we're not enemies, we're not fighting each other anymore. I've actually heard it used sometimes even in like British media that I've seen or something, of someone going, you need to resolve your differences. And they're like, yeah, I got it, we're friends now. Basically meaning, even if they never see that person again, it's just that we're no longer fighting against each other.
I'm not in the mood right now. I need to go study. Just get out of my way. I'll see you at school tomorrow.
But, Mern...
He grabs my hand.
And now he's one of the dudes.
Pull my hand away. Luckily, my phone rings out of the blue. It's Joey. I pick up his phone call and put it on loudspeaker. Whoa. That is I have someone listening. I don't like you. Leave me alone. Like, whoa, that is aggressive. Hey, Joey. What's up?
Oh yeah, hey, I was just wondering if you'd like to go shopping later, like if maybe we want to hang out together. Like, I thought, we hadn't seen each other in a while because I sort of stopped picking up from school, and so, like, do you want to come out with me and do some stuff?
Yeah, sure.
So this is actually being aggressive towards Mark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's why I was like, oh, wow, that is...
This is, I am so pissed off at you. I do not know how to have a male friend, and you don't know how to be a good friend. It's not her job to teach him how to be a good friend. It's not. But this is also aggressive. I mean, both things can be true at the same time.
Right.
This is a shitty move, and she shouldn't. And it's not her job to have to teach him how to be friends.
Right. The thing is also like, I feel
but sometimes, if you want to be friends with someone, you really do need to work on it. So, like, it might not be your moral obligation or your social duty, but you do need to work for it as well. Like, if you're going to continue the relationship, it does need to be a shared effort.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that's cool. I'll meet you at the shopping mall in like about 2 hours, because I like to shop kind of late, and after I do my homework and stuff, and after I finish my other engagements anyway. So you want to meet me when it's nice and late, about 2 hours from now?
All right. See you later. Mark frowns when I hang up the phone call.
But we have a test tomorrow.
I know, but I can study later, right?
Because I can't study for 2 hours. Honestly, sometimes all you need is an hour or two to study. Like, dedicated studying and organized studying can be really fucking fast.
It really can, especially if you know what you're doing. Mark sighs in frustration. He leaves without saying goodbye. Honestly, I'm not proud of what I did to him just now. I feel like he also has a crush on me, and that's kind of
And I need to be really aggressively defensive about it. So again, this behavior for me is something I'm familiar with somebody who has been really mistreated and had their boundaries pushed really freaking hard, and doesn't know how to set new effective boundaries for themselves. And so what they've got going on is an experience of going, if I think you might even like me at all, and I'm going to try and just aggressively shove you away because I don't want you to get to the point where where I start feeling like I'm obligated to respond to you. Because there is that point, like, that I was exposed to, and that has been a part of my problem with, dealing with people who are interested in me, is going, after a certain point, you feel like you're obligated to continue hanging out with them or to continue giving them your time because you've sort of set a precedent that you are, or that you'll tolerate certain things, and it feels, and I've been taught a lot that it's not really appropriate to set a new boundary after, you didn't do it, which is terrible because you can always change your boundaries, period.
Yeah. People love using that as an excuse. I only see him as a friend. Honestly, I think, he might have a mild crush on you, but I think he really fucking cares about you.
Yeah, I really think it's way more that he cares about you, because he honestly seems way more stressed out about Kayla than anything.
Weirdly enough, maybe it's better if I keep some distance between us. I don't need another person. I don't need another... Wait... It's fine. I can handle it. I just don't want more to deal with. I arrived 10 minutes earlier than Joey. I wait in a coffee shop by myself. Besides, I can't rest at home. Luke and his heavy metal music are so annoying. Even though I don't mind the genre, I just wish he'd turn the volume down.
Surprised no other neighbors have a problem with it. Oh, someone new this late in the story.
Whoa, I mean, we still haven't run into the last love interest, like, day.
I know, but still, like, here's a brand new person.
Right?
Ben?
Suddenly, a familiar-looking girl taps me on the shoulder.
Do you mind if I sit here?
Yes, of course. You are...
I'm Jillian. We go to the same school, but we've never been in the same class.
Of course!
I see you floating down the hallways sometimes.
Yes, you're Jillian, the fashionista. I try my best not to drool over her. Whoa.
She is hot as hell.
Dang.
Aye.
Jillian is the most popular fashion blogger in town.
And she goes to my school and not the fancier school.
And I want to drool over her.
Yes.
I honestly, like, one of my favorite things, and I say this in sort of like a sad, kind of frustrated, sort of like, oh God, isn't that ironic kind of way, but like so many women just drooling over other women, and they're just like, no, it's completely the most, I just care.
I just admire them.
And then, you're just kind of like,
are you sure about that?
Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? You know what? We're going to be sure about it in the next one. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We have some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!